Hello, I'm not sure if I'm live. Am I live? I'm live. Okay, sorry about that. I had two things going at the same time. Welcome to Tarot Tuesday, our three-card live reveal today. And this is great. I'm trying to set up my camera so it doesn't go flying when I'm doing my Instagram at the same time. So I hope you all are well, people that come in. So 7 o'clock tonight. Happy International Women's Day. And again, I love when things like this happen, like the cards actually reflect what's going on in the world. Hello, Aisha. How are you? I love Aisha. You guys know that if you see us on Sunday nights over at Gwenda Lambert Life Starts Now, which hopefully will be, no promises. I'm just going to leave it at that. Anyways, we're just starting this month is about discernment and dealing with heavy emotions. And based on the heels, again, happy International Women's Day. And this reading this week is it's interesting because we had a few people. No, I love you. We had a few people that were picking and choosing the 1 and 3. And, it's rather interesting with what's going on here. So the card that's overarching this week, the first card that we have, our overarching, is Diana. She is beautiful. I think we do, Aisha. Oh, you make me laugh. Yes. So Diana, she's gorgeous. Hi, Wendy. Good to see you. I need to meet your puppy one day. So Diana is also called Artemis in Greek mythology. And she's a strong, powerful goddess. A powerful goddess. And her key on this is focused intention. And the thing that I really find interesting about this card is think about what you desire, set your sights high, expect the best possible outcome. That's just on the card, but I want to read from the book because this is the part that matters. Because right now, we've just passed International Women's Day. And what this is about is, how do we acknowledge our power? How do we embrace that power? And, if I've had conversations with anybody over the last little while, one of the things is a lot of times we think that we have to be this warrior, that we have to be this. And to me, this warrior sometimes depicts maybe aggression or something that you are not. Like, oh, I have to, I'm this badass. And it's like, and I think this is really good because it can help inspire us. But on the other hand, there's also, one part of the resonance side is being able to, and Aisha's been talking about this on her challenge. Anybody look up Asha Dami Magueda or Aisha. Oh my goodness. I will actually put a link to her website in after this live, because one of the things she's talking about is being able to take a break. Take a pause. And we were talking about discernment on Sunday. And I'm going to use that as a springboard, because the thing is that power doesn't always come from, says the fire sign, power doesn't always come from pushing through and making sure that you're heard and you want people to hear you. There's a difference in the Diana kind of energy, which is basically like, look at her. There's nothing that's wishy-washy. She just is. Now she is, let's talk about it. She is the moon goddess of the hunt. She's, again, depicted with wild animals. She's associated with the moon. She connects deeply with wild beasts that come out at night. She's often seen holding a bow and quivers. But that helps her ability, again, even as a centaur, we also have a bow, right? The centaur. And what happens with that is that, and what she's talking about is aiming high. Now, you can aim high, you can be fully in your experience of who you are. And that can change. You don't always have to be like aggressive. Sometimes taking that breath, being discerning, and just saying, okay, you know what? Either, okay, this isn't for me and you're going somewhere else, or, because the one thing with goddesses is that they can strike, but even if you, and I don't really want to use the latest Wonder Woman, I want to use the original Wonder Woman. If you see the whole thing of all the other, all the other Amazons they were all comfortable in their power, and they continued to hone their skills and hone their skills and hone their skills. And while they could get in your face quick, also none of them were hiding themselves, right? So there's this fine line between having to yell from the mountaintops. If that's what you need to do, do it. But the one thing about Diana, the one thing that I feel that she's talking to us this week, is that feminine power doesn't have to be the masculine based, oh, I go kick back, I clap back, I do whatever. Sometimes it can just be speaking your truth and having the courage to be vulnerable with that, or having the courage to walk away, to turn the other cheek and all that kind of stuff. Because the interesting thing, and how we're going to look at it this way, because the one thing that it says here, moves forward with unwavering faith, knowing that the universe is supporting you. So I don't know if you can pull up a time when you know that wherever you were with, you were loved and you were supported. I hope that you can call up one of those times. And I want you to use that with what's going forward this week. Now, this is one of those things that, when we talk about it, we talk about gaining confidence, and we talk about, my beautiful, gorgeous, yes, exactly. Darling Wendy, who I met, for instance, there's lots of people I was talking to the other day. Toastmasters is a great program to start with. Emerging Speakers is another one. So when we are getting up and we're speaking and we're sharing our story, knowing that we're safe in our telling that story allows us to practice, to hone that skill, right? And so sometimes the most vulnerable words can come in a whisper, right? So sometimes us being a badass is just being and speaking our truth, not yelling, not whispering, but just being. So I hope that makes sense. And I want us to be able to use that as an example for the reading this week, because the other thing is that there's also, one of those cliche sayings that it's like, what is meant for you will not go past you, right? So I know that I've fallen to this in the past, that, oh, this is my only opportunity. So I get agitated instead of again going, okay, this is a great opportunity. I know this opportunity is not for me at this point in time. And I know that something better, or something, and this is the funny thing whenever we talk, especially women, and we're talking about relationships and whatever kind of relationships we're in, is that, oh, I want this relationship. It's like, well, who are you now? Are you that person that would be what you want to be in a relationship? And so that's the honing of your skills as you're going along, becoming more aware of how you're speaking, becoming, still feeding your mind and feeding your heart with information and with love and, yes, confidence, right? So this week we have it interesting because with International Women's Day yesterday, we do have Diana, who is telling us, we've got your back. We've got your back. So make sure that you take the time to plan, right? And try not to get anxious. Like, try not to, again, anxiety is going into the future. So you're going ahead of yourself and you're getting ahead of yourself, literally. So now let's get into the cards. Now, again, I pulled up my beautiful Vision Quest cards because I love them. So, and also because that's what we do, right? I mean, Aisha, you've got, 15 decks, it seems. She's got some really great decks too, but I'm not buying anymore. I've hit my limit of 7. So it's interesting because I think we had 3 or 4 different people that picked cards 1 and 3. So you'll see why this is all interesting. So I want you to look at whatever we're talking about here with Diana, that whatever is meant for you will not get by you. Okay. And that there is no right or wrong time. There is no competition. This is about you presenting you. And once you fine tune based on whoever it is that you're being of service to, that's where the difference is, right? So you're not competing with anybody else. You're you're doing something that you love, and you're just presenting who it is that you are and how you interpret that message. So card number 1 is the Daughter of Fire. And she's beautiful. Anything that's fire is a wonderful creativity. You know, fire, again, sometimes we have to burn everything down to start it all up. But with the Daughter of Fire, this is the equivalent of a page in some of the other decks. And what this is that it's self-actualization. It's the beginning of something, but it's the beginning with a youthful. I don't know if you remember the first time, like you got, I mean, everybody has to have this, the first holiday season, whether it was birthdays, whether, you know, I remember for me, it was like the first Christmas that I was like living on my own, and I was working for what I thought was amazing money at like $550 a week or something crazy like that. And I just thought this was great. And I was able to buy everybody in my family a Christmas gift. So this can be birthdays, it can be whatever it is, but it's that time, you know, when you take pride because you know that you're creating something, and through that creation you were able to appreciate the people in your life. So this is really what the Daughter of Fire is all about. She's about self-actualization, but she's also about creativity. So this is now creating something new or continuing with something new, but you're doing it with a newfound confidence. You're doing it with the confidence of someone who, again, has faith. So this is where Diana's coming in. And if you notice, this is like the Daughter of Fire. So this is the feminine energy, but it comes in with Diana, which is all about faith. And you know that sometimes, actually a lot of times, when we've done stuff, especially when we're younger mostly, and this is the challenge of once we become older, is that we are doing things, then we do them, we don't even think about them. We jump off the cliff, we don't even know if there's water there. But we do that because we have this youthful confidence. But we also don't listen to the naysayers in our head because maybe we don't know that it's not necessarily going to work. But we also have that faith that something's going to happen. And especially since this is a fire sign, this is a fire card, it's the throwing spaghetti at the wall suit. And that is, some action is better than no action. Some action will get you to the next step. But this isn't just about you. This is about you setting examples almost for other people, right? So we've just come off this International Women's Day. And with this, it's like, Diana, it's like whatever you're doing, remember that we are the shoulders that our young women are going to be standing upon. What example do you want to set? So this is, again, I would have asked this around Samhain, which is All Saints Day, which is like, Halloween time, is what kind of ancestor do you want to be? What kind of contributing factor do you want to be? And so this is a whole thing. We've got Diane over this. She's tough. She's not going to take any crap from anybody, but she also aims high, right? And she has that bow and arrow because, you shoot for the stars, go big, because wherever you land, it's going to be amazing, right? But the bigger you go, what was that saying? It's not the fact, it's Michelangelo. It's not, the sadness is not aiming for a big goal and not getting it. The sadness is aiming low and matching it. Because then, especially as we get older, it's harder to put it up here, right? It's harder to just say, you know what? I've got faith that the universe is going to have my back. I have the faith in myself being able to figure things out. So that's really what's going on this week for anybody that chose card number 1. And I know it was really interesting because lots of you picked card 1. And then again, a large majority of people were doing the cards 1 and 3. It's a fabulous week. It's a fabulous week either way. So card number 2 this week is the Six of Air. And the air is all about our mental faculties, how we use our mind, anything. And I love these cards. Look at that. It's a beautiful dream catcher. And what does the dream catcher do? It allows the nightmares to go, but it allows the web, the web of dreams, because spiders are actually very, very mystical creatures, right? And they're very spiritual as well. So that's why dream catchers look like spider webs, right? So, anyways, I just noticed there's a whole bunch of comments here, but this is good. Okay. I get in my little zone anyway, but I still want to be able to make sure I get everybody. So the great thing about the Six of Air is it's in the tag on the Six of Air is clarity, right? So the whole thing is, again, if you see, this is all about dreams. This is all about us. This isn't even inspiration. So you've got the Six of Air. You've been through the hardest part. You've gotten something started in this. This is our mental faculty. This is the way we're using our brain. But you've been through whatever the process is that you're doing right now, whatever the question is that you were asking about. You're past the hard part, so to speak. You're not quite in the home stretch, but you're at that part where that, okay, I know this is working. That's really great. And I know this could be tweaked. And that's really what I want you to look at now. Because again, we've got Diana going, you know what? Have faith in yourself. Have faith in the universe. And I know that, when the door's closed for me at night, sometimes it is a question like, God, is this really the right way? Or do I, maybe I'm crazy. I just had something that it's funny. All through this process, logically, it didn't make sense. Logically, it sounded like not good news, and it ended up not being good news. But you know what? I still don't feel bad about it. I still don't feel like it's a bad thing. And by that, I mean, I don't feel anything in my gut that says that it's wrong. My intuition wasn't screaming. So I think it's an interesting situation where it's like, okay, something can happen that's not so positive, but it's not going to kill me. I'm not going to die. It's just going to be a bump in the road, and if anything, it's not big enough to leave a mark. But so there's a quality, especially in this, especially with the Six of Air, is that you're past that point where it's like, where you question yourself, you question your ability. And especially with Diana here, yes, it's mid-cycle, but it's like, you know what? I have faith in my assessment of what's going on. Hi, Miss Carmela. So, right, it's like, this is my assessment of what's going on. And it's more important that you get confidence in your thought process. It's more important that you say, yeah, no, hey, man. And at this point, especially with Diana, you might be going for something that's bigger than you thought. And you can actually see yourself getting there. This can be scary sometimes, but this week, I want you to call upon all those women that have come before you. I want you to imagine all of those ancestral feminine powerhouses. And when I say powerhouse, again, I don't mean badass warrior. It can be. I'm talking about, the kind of thing that, when Rosa Parks was asked, she didn't start yelling when she was asked to move. She just quietly said, no, I'm not moving. You don't have to yell. You just have to be. And you have to be confident enough in what it is you're doing and why it is that you're doing it. So even if the choice that you're making is not perfect and it doesn't, that it's like, okay, I took a calculated risk and you know what, this one didn't work, but this is what I'm going to do next time. And so that's sort of where you are with the Six of Air. Again, it's a beautiful place to be with this Diana and coming upon this wonderful International Women's Day and what we think of that. So now card number 3. So again, many of you did card 1 and 3, and look at her. She is the Mother of Earth. So this is the Pentacle, this is the manifester, And, short of the major arcana, she is the Earth Mother. She is the one who manages resources really well. She is the one that is the nurturer, is the one who cares, is the one that takes care of everybody. And again, with the combination of the Daughter of Fire, which is this youthful exuberance of creativity, and the Earth Mother, which is like, that you can make, again, I joke about this all the time. You can take a blade of grass and make dinner for 12 and, build a house with it. So, that you are, and again, this is all really about faith and confidence in yourself. Faith and confidence, and especially all of you guys that picked 1 and 3, this is faith and confidence in your creativity and your ability to manage resources. So, in all of this week, all of this seems to be about business and about how we apply ourselves. So the one thing that I do want to talk about the Earth Mother, is that to make sure, like, as you see, she's got the child in her lap, right? Everything's around her, but you've got to make sure that you take care of you too. You've got to take care. And this is the one caveat in what's going on this week, right? Because again, Diana's a goddess. She's like, literally, she is focused. So I my darling earth babies are popping into my head, and I commonly use when I'm talking about Virgos that, my cousin and I were on a cruise ship. She's looking straight ahead because she knows what she wants. And that's sort of what Diana is. And it was like, well, why won't they let us in the gift shop? And it's like, well, I think it's the dead guy on the floor. So the dead guy's over here. It's not that she didn't care about the dead guy on the floor. It's that you get so focused in where you're going that sometimes you don't take time to look and see what else is around you. So that's the one caveat that I want to put in here. Your youthful exuberance of the Daughter of Fire is you can get so excited and caught up in the creativity that's great, but you've got to make sure that you're taking care of yourself first. And again, we started this conversation talking about discernment and talking about the power of the pause and talking about how, the goddess Diana is telling us to have faith in the universe. So that if you're feeling that feeling of like, I'm feeling overwhelmed or feeling like your cup is emptying, I want you to please take care of yourself during this time. But oh my God, exciting. And I swear, like, there's so many of you that picked 1 and 3, and this is whatever this is. And again, I see it sort of as business. This isn't just a home and hearth, although our home and hearth is part of who we are. And with COVID, we're all, at home most of the time. But it's not just about that. This is about how we are showing up to our business, right? And just as an aside, I pull my own cards when I do this. And today I pulled Freya, and we had Freya a couple of weeks ago. But this is all about, there is a beginning with every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. And I'm just throwing this in because we have like a new moon coming up, and I want you to be able to, again, this is where you set your intentions. So all of you people that pulled card 1 and 3, I want you to take a look at what it is that you want to build. And I want you to look at, this isn't even just your strategy, because this is like with our little 6 of air, pillared in the middle. I want you to be able to look at the strategy and make sure that self-care is built in, right? Make sure that time to take that bath or go for your walk or whatever it is that allows you to ground, make sure that's part of your plan, because that matters, right? That matters. So that's our reading today. Thank you so much for coming by. Thank you for the feedback, you guys. Carmela, it's lovely to see you. Like, Carmela also does readings. Aisha has Tender Tarot. She does readings on Mondays. And if you want your own reading, you can send me a note. So that's it for this week. And you will see this on Instagram Yeah, did it? Card two came up in your morning read. Exactly. Oh, so you got like six of air this morning. Oh my God. That's the funniest part, right? Is that when we, any of us that have cards, Jan, I hope you've been playing with your cards, is that, when we get into our own cards, it's like, again, I did this once where I did a couple of different decks and they all came up with the same card. And I was laughing because I think it was two of Earth. And it showed up from like three different decks. And that was hysterical. Because sometimes we just were meant to get a message. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Thank you for joining and have a great night. Okay.